Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe. We are here for round 14 of the championship. It's getting quite heated at the top between Alphatrix and S2V Louis, and we should see an epic race tonight here in the streets of Singapore at the Marina Bay circuit. We are here of course in Singapore, and I of course am James Head I'm James Head, going to be taking you through the action here tonight as always on League of Europe for round 14 and for Division 1 as well. And well, obviously last week it was a fantastic race, Louis taking his 7th win of the season in Monza last time out. It was a fantastic win from him. And just to put into perspective Louis' title challenge, Louis has won 7 races this season, Alphatrix has won 3. Just put that into perspective of how tight this championship fight is going to become, I think, including tonight and including I think over the next couple of weeks as well. Alphatrix then leads the way still though in the championship, and he leads on 207 points, but it is a reduced margin because Louis now in second on 188 points. Montana, sad news about Montana, he has dropped down to a reserve, our defending champion, but M Short 17 will come into his place in the McLaren, and I'll come on to him in just a second. Montana in third though in the championship on 150 points. It's a shame that anybody has to drop out, but especially so Montana, an absolute legend here within League of Europe, drives so well week in, week out. It's a shame. I wanted to see how his challenge would unfold for the title, but he's on 150 points still in third, and he is dropped down as a reserve, but hopefully we can get to see him in. Campbell in fourth on 115 points, a little way down, with Verstappen in fifth on 112, and Cantera, who is beginning to come up through the field, he is in sixth place still on 109 points, but it is 6 points separating Campbell, Verstappen and Cantera out on track, while Luigi in 7th on 89 points, with Alonso in 8th on 77 points. Then we go down to Bullet Boy on 53 points. In 10th is Cohen on 45 points. Doom in 11th on 35 points, with Larkin in 12th on 33. Xjavi in 13th on 23, with Schiaparelli in 14th on 22, Toxic in 15th on 16, probably arguably one of his better performances last week in Italy. Spag in 16th on 13 points, Vaporizer, one of our new drivers of course here, NSX Vaporizer in 17th on 11 points, Little Blocks in 18th, not racing here tonight in the McLaren, but he is on 8 points, Decky in 19th on 3, and Caesar in 20th on 2. LR Gulls for the key to M Short, who now takes the spot of Montana in that McLaren. We should have Cosvexum possibly running here tonight as well, and the Racing Point, the Dutchman, and a very familiar face that I've commentated on in plenty of occasions. He might be here tonight. It is Mr. Aaron Collingwood, who is going to be coming in and hopefully reserving in one of the spots that might be free here tonight. But there's a rundown of the driver standings. What did last week do to the constructor standings, I hear you ask? Well, Mercedes on top on 222 points for the first time I think this season. Mercedes now in the championship lead. From Ferrari in second on 217 points. So the main two constructors in real life find it out here within Division 1. In third is McLaren on 183 points, with Red Bull in fourth on 160, Alfa Romeo in fifth on 144, with Toro Rosso in sixth on 135, Haas in seventh on 126 and seventh, then it's Renault in eighth on 112 in eighth, Williams in ninth on 49 points, and Racing Point in 10th on 24 points. So that is the rundown of the constructors. Let's take a look then at what this track really unfolds. Of course, this is a traditional street circuit here at the Marina Bay circuit in Singapore, in the capital, and what a night we have in prospect here. 23 corners await the drivers out on track. I believe it's something like 35 laps around here. Well, I did say last week we might have an earlier start time. We don't. That's because Division 3, some of the Division 3 drivers couldn't make it, so Division 1 and Division 3 running at the normal time. To be honest, it doesn't really make a difference to me. I could have been here at 6:15 starting the stream anyways. So, but for everyone, I think it is fairness to see what is the best running, and obviously 640 is the best running for everyone out on track here tonight. 16 drivers currently within the lobby. I'm going to tune into the comment section now for the first time and see how you guys are doing on this fine, sultry Saturday evening, coming towards evening time now here in the UK. And I'm sure you guys will be still keeping safe and watching us in League of Europe. Of course, there is no better place to be than in the safety of your own home, away from any viruses that might be kicking around. Let's have a tune in to the comment section. You don't want to have a listen to me again back in the background there. 303 subscribers, by the way, coming into tonight. Thank you very much to each and every one of you. League of Europe Formula 1, of course. Nico, good evening to you. Good evening to Mayor Ryan as well. Come on, Bray and Classy and Ben to win. I think he might be on the wrong stream if he's waiting for Division 3. I think Division 3 will be live in just a couple of minutes, but it is good to get your support in on the nonetheless. Very good indeed though. Larkin, good evening to Larkin, and Bullet Boy actually coming in and saying, looking forward to tonight, just want to stay in one piece. I think that is everyone's goal, I think, to be honest, out on track. Singapore, of course, a very tight-knit street circuit. We'll just preview the track in just a second. Chapelelli saying, only rain can save me. Now, there's been a lot of talk about there being rain in Singapore. It's highly unlikely, I think. I'm afraid to burst anyone's bubble. I think it is going to be pure dry throughout. If there's any rain, then count your lucky stars, really, I think, because it takes a miracle, to be honest, for rain around here in Singapore. And yes, it happened, I think, in 2017, if I recall, in that legendary start between the guys out on track. But looking at the guys that we've got here, we've only got 16 drivers, which is not too bad on attendance at all. We shouldn't be expecting probably a couple more to come in just before the start. But let me tune into Discord in the meantime as well, and let's see what is going on Discord. Good evening to everyone that is tuning in, as I say. I've just had Aaron not sadly racing, which is a shame. Louis' account is messing up, apparently. So a little bit of a thing going on here by STV Louis. He renewed PS Plus in December, apparently. It might be internet connection related, I'm thinking. We're going to start, though, in a couple of minutes' time, because we are waiting for STV Louis to come into the lobby. We will be starting probably in and around 1:45, I think, in terms of start time. Obviously, these guys will be raring to go, and the final preparations, I'm sure, these guys will be making. And do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick some unlucky bugger in the lobby currently, and let's see if we can get them in for a cheeky interview. I never do interviews in Division 1, but I'm gonna push the boat out a little bit, and I'm going to pick on somebody that is at random, and I'm gonna pick on somebody that is on my friends list first of all. So if you are on my friends list, then don't go deleting me now. We are going to hopefully get in one of the drivers just to talk through their expectations for the race. And hopefully it'll be the man I'm hopefully going to be inviting soon. As I say, hopefully we can get him in. If you are that man, wait for that invite to come out. So that is the main thing there. Well, I have invited somebody, so lucky man, please reveal yourself somehow. He's probably thinking, why on earth have I been invited to the lobby with this blithering idiot trying to get a quick interview in before we start here tonight. But 16 drivers await the guys out on track tonight, and Singapore obviously is a very tight-knit track. 23 corners await the drivers out on track. Of course, the DRS zones, there are 2 DRS zones on this track, sorry, 3 DRS zones on this track, one down the start-finish straight, one down towards turn 7 at the end of the first sector, and one down towards the end of the middle sector and towards the start of the final sector through turn 14, and that's just after the Anderson Bridge section, which I'll come on to when, of course, we get on track. But hopefully we are going to be seeing some great racing out on track. My sole interviewee that I invited has been given an invite to the party. I'm not sure if he is watching the stream or not. He's probably thinking, why on earth have I been given a party invite to the lobby here? Chapelelli saying, and a good point actually here from Chapelelli, well, we've had more wet races than dry races this season. I think that is honestly true, and to be honest, I hope it is a dry race, and I think it probably will be, knowing that this is a night track, and obviously you don't want to be driving around here in night conditions. It is totally treacherous, and it's probably the wrong thing to do, to be honest, but you never know. It's on dynamic weather, the safety car is on. Expect, I think, quite a lot of action out on track, and I think we're going to be seeing some good racing, and hopefully we can get STV Louis into this. He raced yesterday apparently and everything was fine, but hopefully we are going to get Louis into the lobby, and hopefully he will be coming online very shortly indeed. As I say, probably about 1:45 is going to be the start time for this race. Division 3, I do believe, is also now live. If I just check my YouTube, yes it is, Division 3 is now live. So Ryan, you can go across to Division 3 now. 19 drivers joining in for Division 3. And the first car I should say out on track is Packer. So IRO Packer is one of the guys out on track, along with Callum. And I'm just looking in. Looks to me as if there'll be a difference in opinion in terms of strategies, probably between mediums and the hards to begin off with, and then drivers maybe going onto the soft. But mediums and hards tend to be the best compound of tyre to go around here. 16 drivers then in the lobby. I'm just trying to fill in for time really, because obviously we are starting a little bit late. Hopefully we can get Louis, as I say, into the lobby. Larkin saying he's praying for rain as well. I am hopefully praying for rain. I'm hopefully not praying for rain, to be honest. I'm praying that it's going to be dry, and I think it probably will be, to be honest. And that will be great for the action out on track. And just looking at the conversation that's going on within the Division 1 chat, Louis has got an invite. I'm proud to say he has got his PSN back up and working, so it seems like he will be joining the lobby very soon indeed. So we'll keep an eye there on the bottom. He should just pop up underneath my name and then joining into that second Mercedes seat, which he is sharing of course with Lakitu, the German, who drove a really good race until the final lap or so in Monza, where I think he got a puncture if I'm not mistaken. Lakitu hopefully going to be getting some action out on track. Louis will join in qualifying. In fact, he won't join in qualifying because he has just joined the lobby there now. So Louis is in. So that means we are now getting going with 17 drivers as opposed to 16. But the championship battle is on, and that's what I like to see. Alpha Trix and S2V Louis about to do battle here in Singapore. Of course, if you do want to make any predictions within the comment section, please go ahead and do that. I've been informed reliably that one of my good friends from another league his mum is watching this stream here tonight. So good evening to Sharon, who is Mr. Palmer's Mr. Division 3 or 4 drivers' mum. So Sharon, good evening. I like giving shout outs on the stream, to be honest. Division 1, and as I say, it is a very sultry night here, especially where I am currently in the northeast of England. I know, northeast of England, very sultry, goodness me. But of course, make any predictions in the comments section that you want to. 17 drivers then await the drivers out, 17 cars out on track. And we should have some great racing here tonight, and we will wait for the first cars to come out on track. Of course, just to talk about the track map, and looking at the track map that I've got and looking at it on the screen as well, the Anderson Bridge section, where it sort of goes from the Singapore Sling, which used to be through turn 10, 11, 12, and then into 13. That is a very difficult section out on track, very tight and twisting. The drivers do not want to lose it out there, because honestly, it is going to be probably quite a violent thing. Louis has left the session, unfortunately. It looks like it might be his connection that is playing out, but we have got the first couple of cars now coming out on track. We go on board with Larkin, who is exiting the pit lane. He's going to be one of the first ones out on track, but not the first one out on track, because I think that might go to Bullet Boy or Chapelelli, one of the two, I think, coming out of the pits first, and there's Chapelelli, who came out the pits first. So out on track then goes the German, VRT Schiaparelli, who scored, of course, that second place a couple of weeks ago. And Schiaparelli will be hoping for more of the same for Racing Point. They're down at the bottom of the constructors, with Caesar not attending here tonight. Schiaparelli has got to try and work for himself here tonight, and the German should try, I think, and really excel around here. But 23 corners to wait the guys out on track. This is probably one of the most this is probably the longest track Spa on the calendar. And I cannot tell you how difficult this is to drive around this track. I've driven around this track numerous times in league races back in my ex-racing career, and honestly, Singapore is one of those tracks that is so hard to drive, especially because it's so nice and tight and twisting. It's a street circuit. It's going to pose a few challenges out on track, and the guys will have to be very careful indeed. Just opposed, by the way, they're looking at the strategies that most of the guys have gone on in qualifying. We're riding on board with Schiaparelli. He's on a white wall set of tyres, so that is a set of hard compound of tyres. And what that essentially means is he's going to try and get a bit of a bank lap in, and then hopes to go quicker as the track progresses, and where the tyre degradation just fails completely within qualifying. Schiaparelli then, coming round, turns 22 and 23 to start a lap here, running down the start-finish straight. Yellow flags in sector 3, don't worry about that at all, it's just drivers preparing for their lap. So Schiaparelli through turns 1 and 2, then in towards turn 3 and 4, King now through turn 4, and then in front of the Singapore Eye, right there, comes through turn 5 of course. This is the Marina Bay circuit. He's opened up the DRS now. Really speeding around here. You can see drivers go in excess of about 190 mile an hour down here, and Schiaparelli manages that. And he's just a 27 flat through the first sector, looking good there through turn 6 and 7, and then into turn 8 here, and then up towards turn 9. And Schiaparelli looking very nailed on currently on this lap. He's just lost it, and that is why I warned every single driver that this track is going to be quite fearsome out on track, and Schiaparelli out of the session. Singapore holds no bound, as seen there from Schiaparelli. Vaporizer then on a lap. He was just in behind Schiaparelli after that crash out. But Vaporizer now coming towards the end of the middle sector. And he's coming up now down towards turn 14, opening up that DRS straight once again. 104.2 through the middle sector. Pretty much bang on where you want to be on a set of hards, to be honest, around here. Vaporizer then coming into the middle sector. Into the final sector, I should say now. Not sure. That was a bit of a lag moment there, sorry. So Vaporizer now coming through the final couple of corners. And the Dutchman now coming through here, looking very good out on track. Across the line, it's a 1:37.1 to begin off with, so not a bad lap there at all. We're right on board then. We'll try and pick up on board with somebody who is coming in towards the final corner, and he actually lags into the pit lane. So there's a lot of lag, I think, picking up here on my end, which I do apologise about. Alpha Trix again is one of those guys who's into the pits and has got a roughing out glitch. Lakitu is invalidated. Jerry currently on a lap. Campbell, however, on a lap just coming towards the end, and he's another one that is invalidated on his lap there. So currently it is Vaporizer from Verstappen and Bullet Boy rounding off the top 3, and not many drivers getting a lap in early on, which I think is to speak about the tyre degradation, to speak about how tight the limits are. Alonso just going quicker there, 1:36.7, so the German goes top through 5 minutes here in qualifying. Alonso is on top, from Vaporizer second, Verstappen third, Bullet Boy fourth, Cohen in fifth, and Larkin in sixth position. P2 just coming around the final couple of corners. He's preparing up for the lap. It would have been a 37.9, so he would have went into sixth with that one, the Mercedes man. And M Short is another one who is invalidated on his lap. Turn 1 and turn 5 tend to be the periods out on track where you tend to invalidate. So M Short, who is our brand new driver here, I think he's a very good friend of STV Louis, if I'm not mistaken, and I think Short should have a good run out on track. And of course he is replacing the not forgotten about Montana, who is still a reserve here in Division 1, but he has given up, I think, due to work commitments, which of course we totally understand, and obviously especially in this time where the coronavirus is hitting pretty much everyone out on track. Oh, there's Spag going off there. Campbell, though, coming through the final sector, and we do appreciate every single work that happens. Bullet Boy has left the session. Campbell then coming around the final couple of corners now. Louis is joined back in. And now Campbell, coming around the final couple of corners. Looks like he's going to go quicker maybe than Alonso. He just doesn't. The 37th lap there from Campbell. And he goes second in qualifying. A nice lap there by the Red Bull man. Cohen, his teammate there, down in 6th position. Larkin, by the way, did improve on that lap as well. 37.7. It was a 49. So he has improved on that lap considerably. Let's run on board then with Cantera, the Spaniard. He comes through turns 1, 2 and 3 very nicely indeed. And the Spaniard on a set of hard compound of tyres just has a bit of opposite look there coming through turn 4 and now in towards turn 5. Again, one of those corners out on track that does pose a big threat to the drivers, especially in terms of invalidation. Now through the kink at turn 6, which I've actually hit before, that wall. 26.8 though, through the middle sector, through the first sector in fact from Cantera. Now comes into the middle sector. So through turn 8 he comes. Now down towards turn 9 where Schiaparelli had spun the car. Very nicely there, that's how you take the corner. And now coming down towards the Singapore Sling at turn 10 before this very tricky section of the Anderson Bridge. But before then, go to a chicane through 11, then 12 and then onto the Anderson Bridge. And there Cantera knocks the wall twice, both on the inside and outside walls. Not really great there from Cantera, but he's still continuing on this lap. I think he's got right side end plate damage there as well. That's a 104.6 through the middle sector, so Cantera's not looking too bad on this lap at all. Probably going to go in and around Vaporizer, Verstappen sort of area possibly. Cantera though on a lap, and he's now coming through turn 17 I think this is out on track, now in towards 18 and 19. Underneath the grandstand section, and that right side end plate really profounding his progress through this lap, and I think he has backed up this, so Cantera now coming around the final couple of corners. He's going to continue on by the looks. Across the line, he wants to get an valid lap in. That's a 39.5. He backed off right at the end there. Toxic on a lap, 103.7, and he was the chosen one who I invited into the party. The Toxic currently out on track, and he's looking good in the Williams. He now comes through 16 and 17. Another tricky turn out on corner. Looking for nice through there. Now through 18 and 19. Again, looking very good through there. It does Toxic. And now comes just under the arches of the Singapore Eye. And he now comes through 20 and 21. In towards the final two corners then. 22 and 23. And Toxic to go top for the 136.3. Very nice lap there by Toxic. That was a great lap by the Brit. And he's now to the top of the standings. Very good lap indeed. Cantera not on a lap. Just trying to pick on board with somebody that might be on a lap. We'll try and pick on board with QVR Cohen, who's just started one. Go on board with X-Jarry as well. I think X-Jarry is just ahead out on track, so we'll go on board with him actually. If we can pinpoint him, he's invalidated out on track. So X-Jarry has invalidated, so that means we'll go back on board with QVR Cohen as he comes through the first sector. Now into the middle sector now, through turns 7 and 8. Again, looking quite nicely there. Bit smooth on the throttle is Cohen. Looking good currently out on track. Bullet Boy about 1200s ahead of him. Easy pickings I think, as Bullet Boy beautifully on time joins back the session. Cohen now coming through the middle section. Now through the Anderson Bridge. And Cohen looking quite good out on track. But Toxic the time to beat currently, 36.3 through the hairpin. Looking nice through that Cohen. And now comes down towards turn 14. 104.3, just flattened out there actually down to the edge of the end of the straight. Purple through the middle sector though, that's to indicate a personal best as opposed to a fastest middle sector. But Cohen coming through, looking nice. He's got a car just ahead of him, which I do believe might be Vaporizer. No, it's not, it's Toxic I think, just coming into the pit. So Cohen now coming around the final couple of corners, and the Red Bull really excelling through the final couple of corners there. He's going to look to go around Campbell-Alonso sort of area I think. Cohen across the line, he goes right in between Campbell and Vaporizer actually, so just ahead of Vaporizer there, who is on the lap, and he is actually one of the guys that's coming through the final sector now. So Vaporizer, who I know is very quick on his day, and the Dutchman will be hoping to try and provide a very good performance here tonight. He can put Italy behind him and hopefully produce a good performance here in qualifying tonight. Very close to the wall there through 21, and now through the final two corners. Can Vaporizer go top behind Toxic? He can, 36.5, so Williams 1-2, Toxic 36.3, Vaporizer 36.5. Alonso, who is on a lap but is invalidated, and he was 2 tenths up before he did that. We're right on board then with somebody that might be on a lap. M Short has just came across the line for his first lap, 37.6. Not too bad there from him at all. The Brit. Next, Jerry coming through the middle sector, 104.7. So the Renault man with 6.5 minutes just over to go here in qualifying. It is Toxic from Vaporizer and Alonso filling out the top 3. Campbell, Cohen, Verstappen, Bullet Boy, M Short, Larkin, Canteri, top 10, and they're the only 10 that have actually got laps in. Luigi, Louis, Alphatrix, Lakitu, Xjarry, Spag, Chapelelli of course having a bit of a moment early on within qualifying and him being out of the session. Xjarry is coming into the pits. For the Renault man into the pits, which means we can catch on board then, or we were going to catch on board with our title leader, Alphatrix, but he just came back into the pit, which I think is quite typical, to be honest. Verstappen is invalidated. Let's go on board then with Campbell, who's coming through the final sector now, through turn 17 there, now through 18 and 19, underneath the grandstand. Looking very nice through there, Campbell. Now through 20 and 21, and Campbell, of course, the Scotsman, who has been providing some good performances in GT Sport as well as Formula 1. Campbell now through the final couple of corners. Can he go behind Toxic, I think? He goes behind Vaporizer and Alonso, so he goes 4th with a 36.7, 4 tenths off Toxic's pace. But these two, of course, Toxic and Campbell, were Division 2 drivers last season, promoted to Division 1 at the beginning of this season, and both of them have been delivering, well, on one end of the scale. Just think of it on the scale. Campbell has been doing better than Toxic, and that, I think, is equivalent to him being Division 2 champion last season. Toxic just hasn't had consistency, I think, during his time within Division 1 so far. That's why he hasn't got a bit of a point haul that you would expect. Verstappen, by the way, is just coming into the pits, and Campbell is on a down lap as well. So that means we can then catch on board and see how you guys are doing within the comments section. 25 viewers, I think, we've got here tonight, which is absolutely fantastic for League of Europe Division 1. Of course, make that more, because obviously everyone's staying in. Get it up to more, and you never know, you might get a bit of a shout out from me or something. You never know. 27 people viewing. James's voice box is glad it's dry. Yeah, I'm really happy that it is dry out on track, and I think that is attributing so far to the qualifying that we are seeing. It's quite a tight-knit qualifying session out on track. A 36.3 from Toxic, 36.5 from Vaporizer. Just looking at the comment section, Gary coming in with a comment towards Chapelelli there, Bottle Lelly. Not sure what you want to make of that one, Chapelelli, but still. Short saying in, my brother. I've just realised who it is. RLH Short, who was obviously part of SLM, I think, back in the day, which I am still a part of, actually, for GT Sport. But so M Short currently in 8th position, so his brother 37.6 out on track. He is 1.4 seconds off Toxic, but currently out on track, I think, on his debut, who's doing a very good job, and he is having to fill in for a very big man who will leave a big void, I think, in Division 1. That, of course, is Montana, and he replaces. So, not really. He's got to fill in for some big shoes right there, I've got to say. M Short, but currently doing well out on track. Kicking off because of A-levels. I totally understand that. I think I was probably the one that was understanding most within that Discord chat. Chapelelli saying last first I'm hearing as well. Well, you never know what you're going to get, really, because it's going to be quite close. We're on board with Alonso. He's now coming onto a lap for the German, hoping to go quicker than Toxic and Vaporizer. Remember, Roquette Williams 1-2 currently between Toxic and Vaporizer. Verstappen just coming out the pitch, realises that Alonso is coming, and through turns 1 and 2, looking very good through there is Alonso. 36.7 is current best. He's on a set of medium compound of tyres. Again, don't be surprised by these guys going on a set of mediums, because it is purely the best strategy around here in Singapore. Anybody going onto a set of soft compound tyres, I hate to say it, you're pretty much committing suicide if you want to try and go on that. 3 tenths up through the first sector for Alonso. 36.7 currently his best. He's now through turn 8 and now down towards turn 9. Chapelelli, of course, spun out earlier on in the session. Alonso, though, running down towards turn 10. Looking good here, coming down towards Singapore Sling. Looking good through there. Now onto the Anderson Bridge section, through 11 and 12. 2 tenths up within the first sector. Now into the hairpin. Really high revs into the hairpin. make sure he gets the turn in beautifully then. Alonso is on absolute a flyover lap here. Could be a 34, you know, 32.9. He's nearly a second up. So if he finds another 7/10 or something in the final sector, Alonso could be on for our first 34 of the night. Alonso coming around the final couple of corners then, through 18. Coming up towards 18 and 19, that was through turn 17, then under the shadows of the Singapore Eye, and now underneath the bridge. Alonso coming through, turns 20, 21, this is a very neat lap, he just clips the wall down the right hand side. But Alonso through the final corner, is it going to be the first 34 of the night? Oh, just shy, 35 flat there from Alonso, 1.7 seconds improvement, and he goes to the top of the standings. Toxic has invalidated on his lap. Let's run on board then with our championship leader currently, Alphatrix. We've got Louis on a lap as well. We'll go on board with Louis first, then Alphatrix, both of them around there, and a bit of a chicane dodge there from Louis. 102.3 through the middle sector. Goodness me, he's on fire through the middle sector. He's going to be probably 6/10 ahead of Alonso. Larkin goes second for now, 35.6, but 45 seconds to go in qualifying. These guys are going to leave it late, and Louis now through 18 and 19. He's got 7 wins to his name in Division 1 this season. Alphatrix will be hoping he can try and outscore him within qualifying, but Louis coming around the final corner, you know what position this is going to be? What lap time is it going to be? It's a 34 flat. What's Alphatrix doing out on track? He's invalidated. Alphatrix is invalidated and will be starting, and he's lost his front wing as well, so he's had a spin somewhere out on track. Well, Ouija coming around the final couple of corners goes 4th. Nice lap there from him. Let's run on board then. Is anybody else coming through the final sector? M. Short, who is coming around the final sector. The new Brit, filling in for Montana, of course. Across the line, goes 5th, 35.6. Nice lap time there by the newcomer. 2 seconds up on his personal best there. Campbell and Cohen are next up. 9th and 10th currently. 36.7 for Campbell, 37.1 for Cohen. The 2 Red Bulls need to have a miracle here if they're to get any sort of close to Louis. Lakiti, by the way, went second with a 34.6. So German, it's a Mercedes 1-2. German goes second. Campbell coming around the final couple of corners now. Through 22 and 23 for the final time here in qualifying. Campbell across the line. Think just shy of 3rd. He goes across the line in 4th in the end. 35.1. Cohen across the line. 6th. 35.2. Cantera came across the line. That's Verstappen coming in behind. 35.4. Larkin on a down lap. M. Short on a down lap. While Ouija is out on a lap. Toxic, what can he do? He was pole setter at one stage within qualifying. He's got Vaporizer as well on a lap. Bullet Boy is on a lap as well, and he's going to be up next behind Vaporizer. Toxic then ran the final corner. What's it going to be? 7th, 35.4. Well, Ouija then, Vaporizer then, and Bullet Boy. Bullet Boy now coming around the final couple of corners. He's on the set of medium compound of tyres as well. Bullet Boy ran the final couple of corners, and again a consistent qualifying performance from him. It's a 35.2. Vaporizer across the line goes 4th, 35 flat, but it's that man again out on track. Everyone else is on a down lap, it seems. And Louis, STB Louis, has taken another consecutive pole position, and Louis takes it from Lakitu in second, and it's a Mercedes 1-2, if I'm not mistaken, for the first time this season as well. So the Mercedes gang first and second out on track. Alonso 3rd, Vaporizer in 4th, Campbell 5th, Bullet Boy in 6th, with Cantera in 7th, Cohen and 8th, Toxic in 9th, Verstappen in 10th. Spags had a good lap right at the end there, 35.6, goes up into 11th behind his teammate. Larkin in 12th, M. Short in 13th, while Ouija in 14th. Alphatrix, current championship leader. Well, this has really put the nail in the coffin possibly already. 15th position. He had an invalid lap. He had a loss of front wing. Where on earth is he going to come in this race? This surely is advantage Louis in the championship standings. Xjari and VRT Chapelletti didn't get lap time in either, and they are 16th and 17th out on track. But we'll run down the qualifying order again. Division 3, by the way, just getting underway. Callum Wesker and Ben JS, the top 3 there. Oh, and I get XP, which is absolutely fantastic. That's only qualifying done. The Marina Bay Street Circuit then out on track, and Louis by 5.5 tenths. Unbelievable lap from Lakitu in second, Alonso in 3rd, in the end, everyone else quite consistently, quite close to each other. Louis just dominates in qualifying. Vaporizer 4th, Campbell 5th, Bullet Boy in 6th, Cantera 7th, Cohen in 8th, Toxic 9th, Verstappen 10th, Spag in 11th, with Larkin in 12th, Short in 13th, Waluigi in 14th. There's the current championship leader then in 15th, Alphatrix, Xjavi and VRT Schiaparelli. No time set by them either. 16th and 17th respectively for them. So then, we're about to get underway here in Singapore. Please put in the comment section what you guys think. And honestly, I expect it maybe to be a bit of a domination now from that man STV Louis again. Could make it 8 wins this season. We cannot underlook him within the title fight. I have said all along, every single stream I think that I've done here for Division 1, I have said, watch out for Louis in the championship battle. The guys on the podcast 2 months ago were writing him off, saying he's got absolutely no chance catching Alphatrix. Well, look what he's just come and done. He's 7 wins, I think, out of 9 or 10 races since he joined. Absolutely unreal driver. He's a class above the rest in terms of qualifying here tonight, and again puts him in the prime spot to take the win. But we can't forget about Alphatrix either. He was consistent to begin off with, had those 3 wins, then tailed off slightly, had I think a DNF in, was it Canada, I think it was, where he DNF'd. It was one of the tracks. 31 laps though await the drivers here out on track. And very interestingly, looking at everyone obviously being quite boring, going on a medium compound of tyres, but the real striking point is that man there, Schiaparelli, VRT Schiaparelli, on a set of soft compound of tyre. He'd be hoping to try and make as much progress through the field as possible, but the softs really burn away tyre degradation wise within the first 5 laps of this race, and then you're pretty much driving on ice from there on in. So Schiaparelli taking a big gamble, I think, going on those tyres. He can probably get to about lap 9, then go on a set of mediums. I have seen drivers though make from lap 1 and getting contact 30 laps on a set of mediums. I have seen that before. Alphatrix, interestingly, on a set of hard compound tyres as well. He's on the different end of the spectrum almost. So Alphatrix will be hoping to try and come through the field as much as possible towards the early stages of the race. He's on a set of hard compound of tyres. He'll probably pit in around lap 16, lap 17, then go on to a set of mediums towards the end. He will be one of the quicker cars towards the end of the race, but goodness knows how this race is going to pan out on track as we go along by the river, by the Marina Bay. And Louis is out on top here in qualifying. He's now on the formation lap in front. Lakitu in second. Lakitu's role here, I think, is to play wingman to his teammate. It's as simple as that. The game plan will be simple for Mercedes. The Lakitu will be enforced pretty much as a second driver. And I don't like to use that term, but I think he will be, because Louis is obviously on pole. He'd be hoping to try and hold up Alonso, Vaporizer, Campbell off the start, and then try and protect Louis off Alphatrix coming through the field as well. I think that's how this race is going to probably pan out, to be honest, and hopefully we get to see an instant classic here in Singapore. The guys are now coming around the final couple of corners. What a night then we have in prospect. We are going to have, I'm going to predict my top 3. And I'm going to go for the man of the moment, Louis, out on for the win. So Louis for the win. I'm going to go Vaporizer for second. I think Vaporizer has got a really good chance of performing well here. And for third, I'm going to go Alphatrix from the back. I think Alphatrix is going to get there from the back of the field. But we are now just moments away from the race beginning here in Singapore. The 5 red lights are about to come on here for round 14 of the championship in Division 1. Long hold, but a slight turn, away we go. One of the starts, like Lakitu, gets a very good start. He will have to defend off Alonso down towards turn 1, and he does that just fine. Vaporizer a little bit of attacking there, down in towards turn 1, a little bit of contact there. But Louis through turn 1 safely. We've now got the lead from Lakitu in second, and the front 2 have pulled away from Alonso in third. Alphatrix Schiaparelli is already getting 3 positions off the start, so he's through past Alphatrix, while Luigi and Xjavi further back through the field. Louis then down towards turn 7 for the first time, and towards the end of the first sector, he's got the lead and a very clean start here. Looking further down the field, they all filter through. And there's Toxic going up the inside of Bullet Boy. Good start there by Toxic, getting a couple of positions. Larkin, I think, is getting a couple of positions as well. Bullet Boy and Toxic side by side, nearly like Grosjean and Russell there. But down the inside, Toxic got the move done. And Chapelletti has run off into the field area, I think, there through turn 8. So that is now heading down to the field, and Larkin, I'm not sure if he tapped the back there of Bullet Boy, if that was just a pure Bullet Boy slide, but Bullet Boy now down into 9, so he's lost positions to Toxic, who got the inside line and got the position done, and Bullet Boy, in fact, is going to let everyone through. He's got right side end plate damage there, he's going to do a J-turn, he will rejoin, probably behind Chapelletti, he's going to wait for the car to come. So already drama there for Bullet Boy, picking up right side end plate damage. Not nice around here in Singapore, but the field pretty much splitting in half. It is Louis though out in front by 9/10 of a second. Lakitu trying desperately, I think, to try and stay with him, but Louis has got the pace early on, and it's nearly a second at the end of lap 1 here in Singapore. So towards the end of lap 1, it is Louis who leads by probably 1.1 seconds coming across the line, from Lakitu in second, Alonso in third, Vaporizer fourth, Campbell in fifth, coming under some pressure from Cantera in sixth, Toxic in seventh, Larkin in eighth, Cohen in ninth, Spag in 10th. Here comes Alpha Trix on the back of M Short, the newbie against Alpha Trix, the current championship leader, and a good move there by Alpha Trix down the inside. 2x2 going into there never works, and M Short could be losing out on 2 positions here as well. Ouija goes through as well. M Short keeping it nice and clean, while Ouija through gets the run and he's up into 13th position. I wonder if M Short actually has got a bit of front wing damage. Let's catch on board then with X-Jarry, who's right on the back of him. The P15 out on track, but everyone clean through. Chapelletti, I think, just ran into the runoff area coming through turn 8, and that is why he's down towards the back of the field through 16 into P16. Bullet Boy coming into the pits with that right side end plate damage. He's just about to leave the pits there out on track. Cantera though, right on the back of Campbell. It's pretty much like Monaco, this track. Guys towards the front end of the field will have a significant advantage towards the end of the race in terms of overtaking, and the lack of overtaking here I think will be quite justified, to be honest. Cantera eyeing up Campbell, not going to get the move done here though, he's not going to be close enough. That of course is a DRS straight next time around, so Cantera will be hoping that he's still within the DRS range of Campbell. And also Larkin and gaining on Toxic, so he's gained 4 positions early on, Larkin. 3/10 behind Toxic currently out on track. These two, remember, in Belgium 2 weeks ago, had a bit of a coming together on the final lap of the race. Hopefully we don't see a repeat. Larkin and Toxic, these two hopefully going to put their rivalry aside, I should say, here tonight. But Louis away, 1:39.1, and he sets the fastest lap of the race. Larkin across the line, DRS now enabled. Toxic pulling away down the straight line. And Larkin just staying within his DRS range. We'll go on board though with Cantera, who I think will be first up to try and get an overtake done. X-Jarry and M Short, however, have sort of positions towards the back of the field. Just saw that on the mini-map. So that was X-Jarry down the inside of M Short. He's through and he's up to 14th position. But now Cantera, beautiful run out of the corner. Now hoping to get the inside line down towards turn 7, towards the end of the first sector. And Cantera, is he going to breeze on by Campbell here down the inside line? The Spaniard and the Scotsman. Good move there by Cantera. He had the car going into the corner ahead, and Cantera's through and he's up to P5. But now Campbell has got to try and really fend off the attentions of Toxic and Larkin and behind. He's essentially now, I think, holding up a bit of a pack here, to be honest. Campbell, though, in 6th. Cantera with that good move, of course, in 5th. Toxic through in 7th. Larkin in 8th. Cohen in 9th. Spag onto the back of this as well as Verstappen, and Alpha Trix is hunting there in the background of shot. Has he got a bit of left? I thought he had a bit of left side end plate damage. That's just my eyesight going there. Campbell then, defending off Toxic down towards the 90-degree turn at turn 14. Everyone looking very nicely there. 3 out of 31. Better go on to lap 4. If you are just tuning in, this is Division 1. Top tier action here in League of Europe. We all need a bit of a lift up, I think, within the coronavirus lockdown. But Louis currently leads the way by 2.4 seconds out on track. If you are just tuning in, I'm James Head, your commentator for tonight. Louis leads 2.5 seconds, and he's really dominating out on track. It looks like Campbell is coming into the pits. Left side end plate damage there for Campbell. Coming into the pits, the Scotsman relinquishes 6th position, and now Larkin is on the back of Toxic. Very wide in the background there was Waluigi, I think, on X-Jarry, or yeah, one of the 2 Renaults very wide there through the final corner. Larkin though on the back of Toxic. Are we going to see a repeat of Belgium, I wonder? Larkin and Toxic. Now coming through turn 5, and then through the kink at turn 6. Looks like Larkin is not close enough. You've got to be really within 2.5 tenths of a second to try and gain. Speaking of gaining, Alphatrix is gaining on Verstappen, and the current championship leader has made good progress through the field, keeping his championship hopes and championship lead alive here. Currently in 11th, he will be gaining 2 points currently, because of course, remember, top 12 get points here in League of Europe, not the top 10, as you will see at the end of the screen. But Louis leads 2.8 seconds, Lakitu in second, Alonso keeping tabs on him, with Vaporizer in 4th. So it seems like currently, my prediction so far, touch wood, is going to plan. Because Vaporizer is in 4th, Alphatrix currently in 11th, has got a lot of fighting to do through the field, but I know he will do eventually because of his tyres. So it's a bit of a long burner, I think, for Alphatrix out on track. It's Louis, though, as I say, who leads. Verstappen just getting a little bit of a bump there, I think, to Spag, just in front of these guys, just in front of Alphatrix here for 9th and 10th. And Spag against Verstappen, 2 teammates out on track. A little bit of front wing damage there. I think that was a Red Bull left side end plate, which would have been, of course, for Campbell last lap around. Larkin, though, possibly starting up a run through the final corner on Toxic, and in fact it's Toxic coming into the pits. So Toxic into the pit lane, and looks like everything is fine for him. Possibly going on a set of hard compounded tyres, I wonder. Alphatrix run on the back then of Verstappen. It's not going to get the move done there. But Alphatrix right on the back of Verstappen. This is for 9th and 10th currently out on track. 0.3 of a second separating. Alphatrix on the back of Verstappen. Alonso trying to get close to Lakitu. Verstappen, Vaporizer, by the way, has just dropped off that pack a little bit. So Lakitu and Alonso now in a private battle for second. Alphatrix, though, on the back of Verstappen. Again, not getting through here out on track. I'm just going to go idle for 30 seconds. I'm just going to use my nasal inhaler and I'll be back. Nasal inhaler used, and Alphatrix is on the back of Verstappen still. Campbell trying to fight through on Toxic. Toxic obviously has just came out the pits, so the former two Division 2 drivers will do battle. 14th and 15th position, those guys are in currently out on track, so they're at the points. Alphatrix though on the back of Verstappen, coming on towards lap 6 then out on track. We should see the mediums begin to ebb away from around about lap 8, lap 9 out on track, and then the guys will begin to pit probably around lap 11, lap 14, I'm thinking, amongst that. We'll go and bother with the battle for second, because Alonso is on the back of Lakitu, and he is trying to get the move done here on the back of the Mercedes. We will cut to Alphatrix and Verstappen as well. They're coming down the straight, and right on the back there is Alphatrix on the back of Verstappen. But again, I think he's just gone out of DRS range on his teammate possibly here, Verstappen. And now Alphatrix will be hoping to use that to his advantage. Looking through very nicely through there. Chapelani, by the way, into the pits. Expected, I think. And set us off compounded tyres. Hopefully he can pick up some good points out on track. We've got to move further ahead. Cohen lunging it up the inside there of Larkin. No way Jose was that going to get done. And Cohen holds the position currently for 7th. Larkin holds the position for 6th out on track. Luigi and Next Jerry also are battling. The two Renaults having a bit of airtime here. The two Renaults currently 11th and 12th. So they fill out the final point scoring position down on track. Alphatrix is right on the back of Verstappen. Lovely helicopter cam here. We're about to go on towards lap 7 out on track, and Alphatrix really on the back of Verstappen. But again, it's one thing to get close to a driver around this track, it's another thing to overtake. And honestly, I think the lack of overtaking here, the only opportunity is really down the straight towards the end of the first sector and down towards turn 7. I have seen in races around here before, as Bullet Boy has left the session, that's a disconnect from Bullet Boy there out on track. So Bullet Boy has disconnected sadly. He's now down in 16th position as a result of that. Alphatrix right all over the back of Verstappen, hoping to try and get away through here. And the Brit lining up the Dutchman, he looks so much quicker. The hard's beginning to come into play, but again, down the straight, it's one thing to get a good run out the final corner, it's another thing to try and attempt the overtake. And Alpha Trix again, not close enough for the move, but we watch the progress of the championship leader through the field. We're right on board though with Alonso, who was on the back of Lakitu, 6/10 of a second separating these guys out on track. Now 5.5 tenths, now 5 tenths down towards turn 7. Well, Alonso not there to take the action, but Alpha Trix could. He's on the back of Verstappen. Not going to do. Danny Rick down the inside. We've got Cohen and Larkin getting close together once again as well. Alonso looking quicker than Lakitu all of a sudden. So Alonso, the German, beginning to wear Lakitu. Louis currently dominating out in front. So Lakitu in second, Alonso in third. Vaporizer in 4th, Cantera 5th, Larkin 6th, Cohen 7th, Spag 8th, Verstappen 9th, and Alpha Trix in 10th. Just dropped off the back here, Alpha Trix on the back of Verstappen. Definitely getting through there on the AI of Bullet Boy. So now Chapelati up to 16th position. Lakitu, first 3-second time penalty I think I've seen of the night. So Lakitu, 3-second time penalty for him. Everyone though has been relatively clean, apart from picking up front wing damage left, right and centre on the walls. I don't think we've seen any contact actually out on track, which I think is fantastic so far, and good driving standards by every single driver currently out on track as Louis comes around the final corner in front. 4.6 seconds the gap, and Alonso is into the pits. Alonso then into the pits, going to set a hard compound of tyres, and he'll be trying to make this one-stop strategy work, and the one-stop does tend to work around here in Singapore. Alpha Trix all over the back of Verstappen again, not close enough. 5 of them running very close knit together out on track. Having a message on my iPad. Alpha Trix on the back of Verstappen running down the straight. Cohen getting the move done there, and Alpha Trix holds firm on Verstappen. So the Red Bulls and the Toro Rossos fighting here out on track. It is currently Cohen who is fighting the position with 5th, Larkin just ahead. So Ferrari and the Red Bull. By the way, in terms of where Alonso joined, he joined in 12th position. He's now in clear air and clear daylight out on track. Everyone coming through onto lap 9. In Singapore, very long track this. We're going to be here for at least an hour or so in terms of the race. Cohen is on the back of Larkin, 5.5 tenths separating out on track, but honestly, so far, so good, the action. We'll be right on board with Alpha Trix. Got a bit of a revving out glitch here, so we'll go on board with Verstappen instead. Verstappen defending off the position on Alpha Trix. Jerry trying to get a little bit closer there in 10th position now, while Luigi in 11th as Louis is into the pit from the lead of the race. So Louis responds to Alonso coming into the pit, and there's quite a few actually coming into the pit. It looks like that is Cohen coming in, and Verstappen is in as well. So Cohen and Verstappen as well as Louis into the pit. Louis already out of his pit box, and he should rejoin relatively in safekeeping ahead of Alonso. And look at the gap he's got to Alonso. I mean, he's going to be well out ahead. Yellow flag in sector 1. Oh, and there's somebody gone on a turn 1, and it's X-Jarry. X-Jarry has gone straight on a turn 1, and something has happened there to X-Jarry. I can only think that it's been a bit of a setup there. I think his wheel or something is disconnected there for X-Jarry. He's out of the rest of turn 1. It looked like he went straight on at turn 1. So X-Jarry out of the race. He's retired out on track as well. X-Jarry out of the race. Well, no safety car out on track. Here's Lakitu though, who leads the way from Vaporizer now in second. Cantera third, Larkin in fourth, but look at Alpha Trix all over the back. Now of Spag. This is for 5th and 6th, so one Toro Rosso meets another Ferrari pretty much out on track, because of course Alpha Trix was chasing down Verstappen when he was coming out of the pits. Sounded like Boris Johnson there for a minute. Cantera on the back of Vaporizer, and again these two fighting consistently. And I come to show, I think, how much I know little about the strategies around here, because everyone has gone in for a set of hard compound of tyres. Cantera is on the back of Vaporizer. These guys are going to come into the pit zone. The Vaporizer will, and Cantera will respond. So both of these guys in. Nikita is in, Larkin is in, and Spag is in. That now frees Alphatrix to the lead of the race. I'm going to cut them both further down the field though, because Campbell and Verstappen are quite close. Verstappen coming out behind Campbell, of course, out on track. And he'd be hoping that Campbell will be an easy adversary, but he's not. Campbell and Toxic just ahead as well. Alphatrix now leads the way. It is currently a 1-2 for the championship leaders as they are in the championship. It is Alphatrix, of course, leading the championship by 17 points coming into tonight. Louis in second and Alonso in third, currently out on track. Montana, of course, not here now, down to reserve. Spag just coming out of the pits. And he's just going to rejoin, I think, maybe in front of his teammates here, and he does. So Spag has undercut his teammates. He's through and he's up into 11th position. But we should hopefully get a bit of overtaking. I think this is what this race has been lacking currently, a bit of overtaking. And now Verstappen turns up the wick down the straight. Can he get the move done on Spag? I think these two are going to stay quite close to each other. They're not going to go for the move. I want to see teammates battle, to be honest, but Verstappen is on the back of Spag. And currently, I think Verstappen should be let through. I've got to be honest there. I think Verstappen should be let through. He's looking quicker than Spag at this stage, but it's only because Spag's tyres haven't warmed up just yet. Cantera then, on the back of Vaporizer. Now Vaporizer has came back all of a sudden to Cantera out on track. And this is a four-way battle, spanning all the way back down to Cohen and Larkin, and then possibly Toxic as well. It's quite close-knit racing, but there's not really been any overtaking. I think we're going to be lacking in the top 5 moments once again here in Singapore. There's Alphatrix who leads the way. He's just gone on to lap 11 out in front. Louis is in second in clear air and 5 seconds ahead of Alonso out on track. In third, currently out on track, is Nikita. So Nikita has been undercut by Alonso out on track. In the meantime though, Larkin is on the back of Cohen, and it's 5/10 of a second as they come through the final 2 corners once again. Lap 11 just beginning for these guys. You hear the little ting there. That is to enable or to tell the driver that the DRS is now enabled, and they can use it if they wish. Of course, most drivers do tend to use the DRS. And we've also got the energy recovery system as well, which is the percentage down at the bottom right of the screen. You can see the different modes that the drivers are flicking in. This is Larkin, of course, actually out on track. He's just flicked it up to ERS mode 4. That is for overtake mode. But judging by the pace that Cohen has got ahead, he's not close enough for the move, and he's now down to no ERS whatsoever. So now he recovers the energy during the course of a lap. And when we speak about energy recovery, it is when the drivers essentially brake for a corner, is when the battery essentially recharges, and we should see hopefully some overtaking and it being used as Cantera's on the back of Vaporizer. They just nearly both lose it across the Anderson Bridge section, getting caught both on the curb there. Vaporizer's pulled away now from Cantera, looking a bit cleaner through there. Larkin getting onto the back of Cohen, not close enough there down the straight. Toxic on the back, 1.4 seconds off. Verstappen and Spag looking quite close as well. We'll focus our attention though on a potential battle for 7th. It's between Cohen and Larkin. Vaporizer now just beginning to maybe fall under a little bit of pressure here from Cantera as well. Currently in 5th and 6th. But Cantera hopefully will be looking to try desperately to get past Vaporizer here. But through the final corner, Vaporizer running slightly out wide. Cantera looking good. If I recall, actually, Vaporizer in a previous league that I used to run, I'm pretty sure he was good around here in Singapore. So Vaporizer, I think, will be coming alive, and this is why I predicted him for a top 3 finish. Currently, he's in a net P4, so he's not doing too bad. My predictions are very hard to judge. Vaporizer having to break out the toe there. He feels Cantera is a bit of a threat running down the straight, but not close enough just then. Everyone else really. Toxic beginning to hold up slightly. Campbell, Spag and Verstappen in behind, so he's got pretty much a whole horde of KVR guys in behind them. Toxic currently in 9th, and this is one of his better races so far, I think, of the season. He's lacking a little bit of consistency. He's lacking a little bit of luck, I've got to say, as well, out on track. But Toxic so far, currently in 9th, had a good qualifying session until we got onto a set of mediums and then just found himself out slightly. But Toxic adapting to himself well and is currently outperforming the Division 2 champion from last season, Campbell, out on track. And Toxic feeling a little bit more confident as he's gained 4 tenths on Larkin, who's getting held up here behind the back of Cohen. Cohen, 3-second time penalty for a track extension there. That might be removed as part of the track, isn't it? Campbell as well, 3-second time penalty. That's coming to the left-hander just in behind that corner. Alphatrix coming out in front. He's losing about 7 tenths a lap compared to Louis in behind. Toxic 3-second time penalty as well. So the drivers just nicking up their first 3-second time penalties of the night. Of course, when we get to the later stages of the race, I will ride on board with the penalties for you guys and educate you about the penalty system that is put in here on the game. Rear view camera angle here on Cantera, bit of a shocking one to be honest. We now try to chase down the back as Lakita down the inside. Alonso tries it, doesn't get close enough, but he's on 2 laps pressure tyres, and this is the battle I think we want to be on board with now. It's the net battle for 2nd position out on track. It is Alonso in 3rd, Lakitu in 4th, Vaporizer has dropped 10 seconds behind Lakitu now, so Lakitu clearly gaining on Alonso. He'll be hoping to try and get the opportunity done down towards turn 1 possibly, I'm thinking. Currently, Lakitu adapting well, and again he was another driver last week in Italy who was very unlucky. He ran consistently top 5, top 6, top 7 I think it was for a majority of the race, and then I think he either had a bit of a coming together or had a puncture right on the last lap and his tyres punctured, and he ended up, I think, either not out of the points or just DNFing out of the race completely. But Lakitu out on track doing a good job, and he's 3.5 tenths behind Alonso, and Alonso has got to be careful here. These two Germans, are going to battle here like it's 1969 all over again. Lakitu on the back of Alonso, 4 tenths of a second. Alonso will defend down towards turn 1. He's going to have the run. But we see Lakitu right on the back here. And very close down towards turn 1. And Terra is catching Vaporizer in behind as well. Those guys are running down towards turn 1, and I don't think we'll see a change of position in behind. Yep, Vaporizer holds on there for 5th position. But now Lakitu, this is his opportunity to try and get past. Is he going to have another try? Is he going to go for another link down on the inside line? He's going to be close enough this time around. Lakitu down the inside line. The German sends it on his fellow countryman, and the Mercedes pushes the Haas off track. Well, a little bit of banging wheels there between them both. Elbows out, Lakitu's through, and he's up to 5th, and Cantera's got the move done on Vaporizer as well. He's up to 5th as well, so Lakitu up to 3rd, Cantera up to 5th. I think I got my words a little bit mixed up there. I said Lakitu, I think, was in 5th. Lakitu in 3rd, Alonso now down to 4th. Good move that though by the German, gets the move done. Cantera also simultaneously getting the move done on Vaporizer, so he got the move done, he's up into 5th position as well. And Chapelletti's gone through on Bullet Boy's AI car as well for 16th position. He's running around there on a set of mediums right at the back of the field, probably going for that fastest lap points more than anything else. Larkin right all over the back now of Cohen. Red Bull against Ferrari. 7th and 8th position out on track. Of course, remember, Alphatrix will have to pit again, or will have to pit. He will pit in, I think, soon. Probably around, as I say, lap 16, lap 17 was my expectation here for Alphatrix to pit in. It's now lap 15, and we are nearly halfway through here in League of Europe Division 1. If you are enjoying the action, of course, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe, and tick that notification bell to the channel, because we are going to be in this lockdown for a long time to come, I think, and you need your sporting fix, your motorsporting fix on a Saturday night here. Goodness me, Campbell creating his own track extension there in the back of shots. Goodness me, Campbell just going to calm it down slightly. Doesn't want to afford himself another 3-second time penalty. Him and Toxic being caught out a little bit flat-footed, to be honest. They can make the tyres go to the end, and they're not wearing that much, to be honest, the hards around here in Singapore. But Larkin trying to get onto the back of Cohen. These guys are just stuck in a constant DRS train, and that's why you're seeing pretty much no overtaking out on track. It's a shame, But this is just the nature of the track and how it is. When you get close racing around here, it's normally the case where a number of drivers get stuck in a DRS train and they cannot simply get past out on track. And that is exactly what we've been seeing, I think, for the first 15 laps at a race, at least at some point on the first 15 laps of the race. I think we've just gone through the halfway stage actually. AlphaTrix currently out in front, 4.7 seconds. He's getting closed down quite a lot out on track. Look at Larkin though on the back of Cohen. This is for P7 and 8 out on track. And looking very good indeed is the Brit on the back of the Dutchman. And Vaporizer is coming back to these guys, and it looks like, does he have left side end plate damage slightly, I wonder. Vaporizer coming back now to Cohen and Larkin. And now there may be sense an opportunity here, both Cohen and Larkin. Might be left side end plate damage, might be winglet damage if anything else. So Vaporizer might be carrying a little bit of condition on that left side end plate. But out on track currently, everyone grouping up, and this is what this is doing. Cohen and Larkin battling, and Vaporizer coming back to these guys, is forcing Toxic and Campbell, Spag and Verstappen all into play. Pantera, 3-second time penalty picking up there. Cohen on the back, goodness me, that is a thing to come on board with. God almighty, he was so close to the wall. Is he going to lunge it down the inside here? He's not going to get the move done. So Vaporizer, oh, he runs wide now. Cohen senses the opportunity, but he would have been quite silly, I think, to go for the move there down in towards turn 8. Not going to get the move done there. So the Red Bull man on the back of the Williams. The Williams have been scoring quite well in qualifying, as well as producing this into the race. Let's have a look then at position gains. AlphaTrix, the big chief gainer, out of that 14 positions gain. Chapelletti has picked up a, is into the pits actually again, and Chapelletti out of the race. So Chapelletti retires in the pit lane, which is what you're supposed to do, rather than Exterri pitting, retiring out on track. Obviously, if it was a failure of some sort for Exterri, then unfortunately there's not really much you can do about that, and it is a shame. Chapelletti now out of the race. He's left the session. We thank him though for attending. No points again for the Racing Point team. As I will check the comment section, I am losing my voice slightly, but I'm going to continue on, as I always do here on Division 1. And just to give you an update on Division 3 as well, I'll jump into the Division 3. They've got a safety car. Unbelievable. They've got a safety car, and it is just Chris leading, and it's intermediate conditions. What? Intermediate conditions out on track. Yeah, Exterri coming in and saying he had to retire, his pedals came too loose. That's exactly, I think, what I thought I said, a setup failure, so unfortunately for him, he's out of the race. But looking then out on track, hopefully you guys are enjoying this stream again. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And just being on board with Short's comment there, I totally agree with that. I totally agree. Cohen on the back of Vaporizer. Is he going to be close enough down the inside line? Not close enough there. And two Dutchmen currently going on out on track. 6th and 7th. Cohen surely, it's just a matter of if. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he's going to get past. And I think, honestly, judging by the pace that Cohen has got, and judging by Vaporizer's good speed actually out of the Anderson Bridge, he's just begun to pull away again. But Cohen's just got to be careful a little bit, because he's got Larkin right on the back from him. Larkin and Cohen have been glued to each other. It's almost as if they've super glued the cars together out on track and they're working together in different teams. It is Cohen and Larkin though for 7th and 8th. But look at the train that now Vaporizer is beginning to hold up. Vaporizer under sustained pressure here. Cohen, Larkin, Toxic about to get onto the back. Campbell about to get onto the back, as well as Spag and Verstappen. So that could be a 7-car battle from 6th. Well, actually, for 5th, because AlphaTrix will probably pit in. AlphaTrix will be involved in this battle, I would think, out on track as well. So it could be a 7 or an 8-car battle out on track, which I think is unheard of. But the man that is going to be under pressure the most is Vaporizer out on track. It's lap 18 out of 31. It's AlphaTrix who leads 2.4 seconds. He is trying to go as long as possible, maybe to get a set of soft compound of tyres on towards the end of the race. I think AlphaTrix's strategy might be. Cohen though, sizing up a move here on Vaporizer. I said it's not a case of if, but when, and Vaporizer hits the wall! Vaporizer clouts the wall on the right-hand side. Goodness me, a vicious impact there on the right-hand side. He's lost his end plate. As a result, he's going to be understeering into the corners now. And Vaporizer's day possibly has just gone from bad to worse. You can see there, just filtering through shot, his right side end plate completely gone off the car. That was a heavy clout to the wall there. And Cohen and Larkin are sensing up now, more than ever, a big opportunity to get Vaporizer here for 6th place. Cohen again, just on the back of Vaporizer though. We take it with a shocking point of view from Larkin's perspective. He's on the back of Cohen, running down the straight. Of course, no DRS on, so there's only 2 DRS ons here in Singapore. I thought there was 3, I think that was added in 2019. In 6th, Cohen in 7th. Alfredrix by the way into the pitch from the lead of the race, so he's going to go under a set of medium compound of tyres. I think he's going to be getting out in 4th position, if I'm not mistaken. Alfredrix will be coming out towards the end of the pit lane soon. Cantera's only coming round turns 21, round the final 2 corners now. Could be quite close between Cantera and Alfredrix. Alfredrix now out of the pit lane. It's not going to be close enough, and Alfredrix is out in 4th position. Larkin on the back of Cohen, trying to get him down the straight. Look at the train. That is beginning to unfold in behind. Vaporizer is probably thinking, goodness me, I wish I wasn't a conductor at this stage of the race. Vaporizer though on the back. Lakitu by the way, it's still a Mercedes 1-2 out in front. And the top 3 I think have stayed as they are. Everyone else has not. Cohen though, close enough. This is the opportunity for him. This is the overtake for Cohen. Can he get the move done? The Dutchman down the inside of his fellow countryman. But again, side by side, Cohen on the inside line. He's going to have to make this one stick if he wants it. Vaporizer goes in a little bit too hard. And Cohen on the inside line, trying to pull it off. It's side by side. Cohen's got the move done. And Larkin filters through as well. And Larkin can have the one on Cohen. This is unbelievable stuff. Larkin trying to get through on Cohen, not quite. So Cohen and Larkin gifted the positions in the end. Toxic, Campbell, Spag, all lining up on the back of this. Pretty much get on board because there's a one-way ticket. And the one-way ticket is for Vaporizer going backwards through the field. Cohen through to 6th. Larkin through to 7th, and Vaporizer, he knows he's not happy with that, and he's going to let through his teammate as well. Campbell tries to get in on the act, not quite, got down to the marbles there actually, Campbell. But Vaporizer has dropped 3 positions through the field. Toxic of course against Vaporizer out on track was clean sailing for Toxic. He was let through by his teammates, and now Vaporizer down into 9th. Campbell though on the back. Spag on the back. Spag having a very good race here tonight as well. Verstappen having a very good race. Pretty much everyone's having a very good race. Apart from Schiaparelli next Javi. Everyone, bar Bullet Boy with his connection as well. Is this the opportunity though for Campbell to go through on Vaporizer? 15 lap all hard, remember. Down the inside, the Scotsman centre gets the move done. That is how to pull off an overtake at turn 1. Campbell through the inside line. Vaporizer might feel hard done by. Nothing hard done by that. That's a pure sailing move down the inside. Campbell spoons up the P9. Vaporizer then under pressure, and Spag is going to get him possibly down the straight. Spag possibly for a top 10 finish. He's going to try and lunge it down the inside. Vaporizer just a little bit late on the brakes then, and he went into the back of Campbell. Vaporizer, there's nothing really he can do at this point but try and defend from the guys in behind, because the guys in front are only going to get away now out on track, especially with that right tail end plate damage completely gone off that right tail end plate. Larkin still looking close on Cohen further down the field, but Spag on Vaporizer gets caught on the curve coming across the Anderson Bridge. Goodness me, what a recovery that is from Vaporizer. Spag is on the back though. Opportunity now for Spag down towards turn 14. He's not going to get the move done there. He wasn't going to be anywhere near close enough. But can Lenny, as he's called within the league racing community, get the move done here on Vaporizer? Been a good battle between these two. If I recall, actually, these two had a good battle in Italy last week. Vaporizer and Spag. Alfredrix new fastest lap of the race, 1:37.4. That's 21 out of 31. And it's Louis who leads from Lakitu in second. Alonso in third. Again, another tap of the wall, and Vaporizer has had enough. He's coming into the pits, and I think that's the right call, to be honest. Vaporizer into the pits. He's going to be down into 14th position, but he should go for the fastest lap now and try and pick up that point, because he's just seen Alfredrix get the fastest lap of the race as well. Good call that, I think, by Vaporizer, and now frees up Verstappen and Spag for position. And Vaporizer actually going onto a set of soft compounded tyres. Might not last towards the end of the race, but Vaporizer going for broke on a set of soft compounded tyres should try and get those guys tyres to the end of the race. But the man we've got to watch on board though is Alphatrix. And Alphatrix has really excelled here tonight. 11 positions gained, coming across the Anderson Bridge section. 2.1 seconds off the back of Alonso. This is Alphatrix at his finest. It's 1.9 seconds out on track. He is gaining and gaining again on the top three and behind. He's good enough for second, I think. Whether he's good enough for the win, I think that is highly unlikely, given that we are pretty much going through every single corner, and he's going to run out of time, I think, to try and get close to the back of the man ahead. Alphatrix, 1 second off the back of Alonso. This is unbelievable stuff. The mediums really coming into play here now. Alonso is a sitting duck possibly. It's not a case of if, but when Alphatrix is going to get past. Because he's on the back, he's in fourth position, he's within DRS range. If he gains enough through turn 5 here, he's going to be right on the back. Look at the speed that Alphatrix is taking. He's right on the back of Alonso. This is going to be a job done down towards the corner. Alonso doesn't see that coming at all. He does not want to defend that. And Alphatrix has gone through within the space of a lap from 2.5 seconds down to up to third position. Phenomenal. Alonso had no chance to defend that. Alphatrix up to third. So Alphatrix then up to third position. And he's now setting his sights on the German, Lakitu, the wingman. This is a big role for him now to play, the Mercedes man out on track. Vaporizer into the pits once again, probably going for another set of soft compound of tyres. Going to go for that fastest lap of the race, maybe hit the wall on his lap there. He's back on the set of mediums, in fact, Vaporizers, so Vaporizer back out on the set of mediums. He is possibly going to be lapped. Don't think he will be though, coming out the pits this time around. But Alonso now trying to get back onto the back of Alphatrix. 1.5 seconds though. That gap is just going to keep increasing and increasing towards the line. Larkin is on the back of Cohen, 6th position. Toxic has gained on these guys as well. All of that battling, all of that holding up from Vaporizer has done this a world of good, because Toxic is now within the chance of getting a possible P6 finish, and he has driven a really astute race here tonight. He has been coming of age himself in other leagues that I've been commentating on Toxic this week, and he's got a good run of form going. This, again, probably one of his better performances of the season, maybe if not his best performance of the season. Louis picks up a 3-second time penalty coming through turn 5. But Toxic on the back of Larkin, Larkin simultaneously on the back of Cohen. Alphatrix though, let's see how much he's catching in terms of Lakitu. He's just gained another 10th through there. 2 seconds the gap. Alphatrix on the back of Lakitu. Are we going to get a repeat, I wonder, in terms of Alphatrix towards the end of this lap? Remember, it was 2.5 seconds again at the start of this lap, and Alphatrix will be hoping that those tyres can carry him to the end of the race. Fresh mediums against worn out hards. You know which one I'd be on, to be honest. And Alphatrix on the back. Vaporizer a 3-second time penalty. He's just ahead of Louis actually out on track. So Alphatrix 1.3 seconds behind Lakitu, and this is Lakitu's role now. As I said at the start on the formation lap, Lakitu's role now is to play wingman to Louis in front. Lakitu will be employed to defend off Alphatrix in behind. This will impact on the championship as it stands, as it is. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, and it looks like Spag is round. Spag is round through the hairpin. Might have got caught on the inside of the hairpin now, I think. He's clipped the wall. DRS just enabled for Alphatrix coming across the line. This will help him though. He hasn't opened up his DRS range. I wonder if he has got a DRS failure actually out on track. Well, we'll see how this is going to pan out. Alphatrix there on the back of Lakitu. He's not going to be close enough this time around. Again, look at the carrying of the speed though through the corner. He's not close enough this time around, but he's certainly going to be close, probably down the back straight down towards turn 14 at the end of the middle sector. And Alphatrix right on the back of Lakitu. This is for second position, but again, Lakitu's role, as I've said numerous times before now, is to play wingman to Louis. That is the way Louis will win, possibly, this championship out on track. He will not win it here tonight. He's still in second position, but currently as it stands, it will be 7 points going into the final few rounds of the season. Alpha Trix looking right on the back of Lakitu. He eyes him up down towards turn 14. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough. So now, the more that Lakitu holds up Louis, the more this will do in favour for Lakitu's chances to stay ahead. It's now 14.9 seconds, and Louis is probably willing on Lakitu at this stage. He was thinking about it down in towards turn 18 there, Alpha Trix. He's right on the back. Louis, onto lap 25 we go. We've got 6 more laps to go in the Singaporean Grand Prix. And Louis leads from Lakitu in second, but Alpha Trix is all over the back. He just messes up through the final corner. Lakitu better run through the final corner and pulls out a little bit of a buffer over Alpha Trix. Down in towards turn 1 again. Toxic is on the back of Larkin as well, and Larkin on the back of Cohen. We'll cut to that battle in just a second, but I want to see how this pans out between these guys out on track, because this is looking very tasty indeed. Alpha Trix on Lakitu. This is Lakitu's chance to try and defend the position. He's not going to put up a defensive line though, and Alpha Trix is going to sail on by. Alpha Trix through then, he's up to P2. Lakitu made that one look pretty easy. I think he could have defended that a little bit harder, but Lakitu down to third. Alpha Trix through, he's up to second position out on track. Larkin is on the back of Cohen, hunting Cohen down. Is this a possible opportunity for Larkin to get through into P6? Again, these guys having much better races than last week in Italy. Larkin especially, who I think DNF'd out of the race if I'm not mistaken. But Larkin doing a good job out on track. Cohen in 6th, Larkin 7th, Toxic in 8th position. But Larkin on the back, he's got a lap fresher tyres to his advantage as well. Again, I'm just going to use my nasal here for 30 seconds. I'll be back. So then, lap 26 has now started. It is Larkin on the back of Cohen though, the 6th position. These guys have been glued to each other out on track, and Toxic, what that did actually out on track, when Vaporizer obviously helped the guys in behind up Campbell, Verstappen and Spaggett was at the time, Toxic is now on the back of these two guys, and he's hoping to try and get those tyres to the end. 20 laps on a set of hards, could be hard done by. But I think Toxic could have an opportunity here at Larkin down towards turn 1. He's not close enough though. Not close enough at all out on track. Let's go on board then and see how you guys are doing. I'm going to have a look at the comment section. There's a couple filtering through out on track. June saying Alpha Trix got a great overcut. He did. Alpha Trix got a fantastic overcut. He's in second, ahead of Lakitu, but bear in mind, those mediums will be wearing towards the end of the race. Lakitu could have another opportunity to gain on Alpha Trix towards the end of the race. It's 1.8 seconds. That gap could easily come down, and given the nature of the track as well, it could easily come down out on track. Luigi on the back of Verstappen is another battle unfolding for 10th position, and Abel coming in and saying LOE has the best racing out on track. It does. LOE is the best league for the best racing on a Saturday night, I've got to say so myself. There's 6 more laps of Division 3 as well out on track, so if you want to tune in for Division 3, Ben JS currently leading the way from Ton Albanak in 2nd and Wesker in 3rd. I'm very glad to say Division 1 here has had less DNFs than Division 3. If you want to take a look at the wet race that they've got going on, go ahead and do so. But honestly, if you want to see some good battling out on track and some good, consistent, clean racing, Division 1 is the place to be. Larkin on the back of Cohen still for 6th. Toxic just dropping off, maybe the tyres now beginning to ebb way. And Campbell 2 seconds behind as well. They're going to be prone probably to Verstappen and Luigi towards the end of the race. And speaking of the Belgian, he's now on the back of Verstappen. Spag's not giving up without a fight either. He's beginning to get a little bit closer here out on track. So Spag now 1.1 off the second, 1.1 seconds off the back of Luigi. Now just extending that out to 1.2. But now, are we going to see what we have been willing, or I've been willing and wanting to see for a few laps now. Larkin to try and get past Cohen. And again, the answer is a resounding 2-letter word, beginning in N, ending in O, no. Larkin, still on the back of Cohen. Waluigi on the back of Verstappen, but close to the wall I think now Waluigi, so he's compromised his run. Verstappen running down the straight slow. Waluigi closing in, oh, very much on the late braking there. And the Belgian hanging on for 10th and 11th position. This is for Spag on the back as well. M Short, by the way, still going around in 13th position. He's adapted himself well, might be a little bit outpaced if I've got to be honest, but M Short has done a good job. Out on track in 13th, he's just shy of the points. But 23 laps on a set of hards. His medals go very well indeed, and M Short has had a good race. And a good clean race out on track on his debut, which is what we like to see. Hopefully he'll be more competitive as the weeks come on. Verstappen under pressure now from Waluigi, the ever-consistent Belgian against the ever-consistent Toro Rosso and the Dutchman of Verstappen. And the ever-consistent Lenny in behind as well. Spag in 12th position. The guys hopefully going to be wanting a bit of a late battle here. 10th and 11th these guys are for. We've got 4 more laps to go. Nearly 3.5 if you're being picky. It's Louis Lou leads from Alpha Trix in 2nd, Nikita in 3rd. I think the top 3 are now bound for the line. And they'll probably stay as they are, to be honest. I'll have a rundown of the penalties when it goes a little bit quiet out on track. In fact, I'll try and get a quick rundown in now. So Louis has picked up a penalty. Alpha Trix has picked up 2 warnings, so he's currently fine. Nikita with a penalty, picked up earlier on in the race. Alonso with a penalty. Cantera with 2 penalties. Cohen with a penalty. Larkin with a warning. Good job. Toxic with 2 warnings. Waluigi getting close onto the back here of Verstappen. Not close enough though. Campbell with 2 penalties. Verstappen with a warning. Waluigi with a warning. Spag with a warning. Good job. And M Short 3 warnings but no penalties. And Vaporizer still going around out on track. He's picked up 2 penalties out on track. Bull Boys AI car still going around, of course. So we've got 14 currently going around out on track. Human cars, that is, of course. And we're now on to the final 3 laps. So Louis leads us across the line. 12 seconds the gap between him and Alpha Trix. And Louis once again will be gaining, currently out on track. He will be gaining, well, he'll only be gaining 9 points because Alpha Trix, he'll only be gaining 6 points actually out on track. So Louis from 17 points will go down to 11. Remember, the fastest lap point is available, so Alpha Trix will be getting that done. A little bit of a clonk on the right hand wall there from Waluigi. Spag is coming alive in these last couple of laps. Lenny not giving up without a fight here. He's currently in 12th position. Waluigi and Verstappen might be under a little bit of pressure here. Toro Rosso sandwich. Almost as if banana is the filling for that sandwich out on track. Waluigi on the back of Verstappen. But again, Verstappen quicker through the opening couple of corners. And Spag is on the back of Waluigi. 4/10 of a second separating out on track. These guys doing a good job. And everyone has really driven well. This is probably one of the finest races you'll maybe see in lack of overtaking, but in clean driving out on track. The moves that have been pulled off have been very clean indeed, very good moves indeed. Mainly down towards that corner there at turn 7. But currently out on track it has been all clean. And from what I've witnessed and everything like that, everyone has driven well. So I think everyone will be getting a round of applause by the end of this race. And a good pat on the back and maybe even an alcoholic drink to end off the night. Louis, 2 laps to go then. On to the penultimate lap for the leader. Gap consistent, 12 seconds. Alpha Trix in 2nd. Nikita currently in 3rd. Well, the boys AI car, the guys are coming up towards though. A little bit of marbles getting picked up there on the camera. As you can see, Spag on the back of Waluigi. And again, Spag's braking point slightly later there than Waluigi. Be hoping to try and get the overtake done, but again, it's one thing to get closer to the driver, it's another thing to try and get the overtake done. And around Singapore, we've had a lack of overtaking. The overtakes, as I say, that we have had done has been absolutely fantastic out on track. Toxic trying to get close to Larkin. He's on 25 lap all now hard. He'll be on 26 lap by the end of the race. and 27 even by the end of the race. So Toxic now onto his 26th lap on a set of hards. Campbell onto his 27th lap on a set of hards. These guys have managed it very well indeed on a set of hard compound of tyres. And as I said earlier on, I did see somebody pit in lap 1, make the tyres go to the end on about 80% wet. Yes, I know. Absolute madness. Larkin on the back of Cohen. Not close enough. Is Spag close enough to the back of Waluigi? No, is the answer there. Again, Spag doing a good job out on track. He's still on the back. And again, look at his late braking point compared to Waluigi. He's all over the back. He's braking later for the corner, but he's not throttling the power out of the corner. That's what he needs to do, I think, to try and get past Waluigi. But now Waluigi is just sticking out of the DRS zone of Verstappen. Spag now coming into play. This could be a potential for a last lap battle here tonight. Vicar Otabolve into the pits. Louis currently out on track onto the final lap. 11.9 seconds. But now Spag eyeing up Waluigi. The Renault and the Toro Rosso Baladu battle here down towards turn 14. Can Spag, is he bold enough to go for the move? He is. And he has a balled in. But he's not going to pull that one off. And I think Spag is going to give the position back. He does. Good sportsmanship shown there by Spag. Never going to work. He should have waited, I think, for the straight, to be honest. But Spag and Waluigi make contact. Who has that done more harm to? I think, honestly, it's probably done more harm to them both, rather than just one driver out on track. Spag getting close to the wall there. Just trying to lunge it down the inside. Bit of a late one. Not aggressive. It was well intentioned, I think, his move, or his attempt to move down the inside. Not going to pull that one off, though, in any sort of imagination. He's ran wide there. By the way, Louis is coming round towards turn 14. We'll go on board with him in just a second. It's been a total domination from the STV man out on track, and he has really excelled out on track. But I want to see what is making out of this battle. Is Spag now going to get Waluigi on this final lap of the race? The Toro Rosso man is through into the first sector. Is he close enough down in towards turn 7? I don't think he will be. We'll cut on board though with Louis. Spag again, well intentioned down the inside. He's got the car just about inside there. And he's out on the inside line into turn 8. Spag, oh, he's going for this. He's got to try and force Waluigi into a mistake. But now Louis ran the final corner to take the win. The fireworks fly off the grandstands. It is Louis' win out on track. He takes it from Alpha Trick's going to be coming across the line in second. I want to give though a really big. We'll want to see while this pans out, because Spag is down the inside into the hairpin. He sees him coming, Waluigi. It's side by side coming out the hairpin. Waluigi and Spag. These two are having a right set to late on. Great battle between them both. Spag is desperate to get past. Waluigi has just locked up slightly there. There's a Spag's opportunity, but this is going to have to be at one of the wildest points on the track. He's going for it. He needs to try and get the overtake done. He's ran the outside through turn 17. No way through turn 18. They don't make contact somehow. Spag and Waluigi. This is unbelievable racing. This is fairness. And what a move by Spag to pull it off. That is the moment of the race. Spag has got the move done on Waluigi. What a battle. Spag across the line for 11th. Waluigi in 12th. He knew it. He gave it up on the last lap. M Short coming across the line in 13th. I'll run through the rest of the order, but Spag, God almighty, he had to try that. Bit aggressive, but he got the job done in the end. He forced Waluigi into that mistake. He got the move done. Wow, what an end. Brendan Louis takes the win here out on track. God almighty, what a fight. And there is Brendan Louis once again to the top step of the podium. Alpha Tricks, the closest championship rivals, continue on. It's now 11 points going in towards next week. And Brendan Louis once again takes the win. SUV Louis, of course, given his name. Alpha Tricks for second. Lakitu drove a great race in third as well. Hats off to the German. Mercedes first and third. That will help them massively within the constructor standings as well. But my God, what a battle that was to the end of the race. Let's really run down the rest of the order because we missed it completely. It is Louis, though, who takes the win out on track. Alpha Tricks, arguably driver of the day, I think, from 15th on the grid up to second. Great drive from him. Lakitu in third, Alonso in fourth, Cohen drove well in fifth. He got Cantera by, wait for it, 7,000th of a second because of the penalties. Very close. Larkin in 7th, Toxic drove well in 8th, Campbell drove well in 9th, Verstappen drove well in 10th, Spag in 11th, getting the move done late on Luigi. Good move right at the end of the race. Round the outside. I wonder if they didn't make contact, is beyond me. Luigi in 12th, wait for that, the last point scoring positions. They didn't pick up any penalties either. Hats off to both of them. M Short in 13th, Vaporizer also finished in 14th, Bullet Boys AI in 15th, Schiaparelli and X Jerry the 2 not to complete, and to DNF out of the race. Oh, what a race in Singapore. What a final lap that was. Fantastic, utterly brilliant racing. That's why 12 places get paid. Exactly the comments there from Mark. Fair play to Spag to get the move done. Lenny, an absolute madman, is another comment within the comment section. He was a madman. It was well intentioned. Probably, maybe arguably, I think one of the overtakes of the season and one of the battles of the season, even if it was for 30 seconds. Wow. But of course, congratulations to Louis, to Alphatrix, and to Lakitu for taking the win out on track for Louis, and for the podiums for Alphatrix and Lakitu out on track. We're going to do it all over again next week, and you'll be wondering where we go next week. Well, we go to Russia. We go to the Sochi Autodrome, and we have 18 laps. 18 corners there waiting the drivers out on track around the former Olympic Park from the 2014 Winter Olympics. So if you are inspired enough to tune in for then, by God Almighty do so, because like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Tick that notification bell as well while you're at it. Honestly, well intentioned, that battle between Spag and Luigi. Brilliant battle, and of course, I'd like to end off this stream like I always do here in League of Europe, and I always do in all of my streams now, by echoing the words of our government and echoing the words of myself. Please stay at home, protect the NHS and protect your local health authority, and save lives. If you don't stay home, you will not save a life. That is the bread and butter of it. You will not save a life if you don't stay at home. So if you have anyone out now, get them in, have a nice family night with them, and really cherish this very strange but welcome Easter. And I would like to end off this stream by wishing everyone at League of Europe, and indeed across the whole League of Racing community and everyone around there, a big happy Easter for you for tomorrow. I'm sure plenty of chocolate will be getting eaten, even if you don't see your loved ones on a face-to-face basis. But from me, James Head, I will bid you farewell. Please take it safe. Please stay at home. Thank you very much for watching here. Do follow the League as well on Twitter at League of Europe. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.